Vintage Magic. Game, collect, invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit vintagemagic.com.
Alright guys, welcome back. So this video is all about a situation that occurred where I bought this Psionic Blast and also an Alpha Life Lace and a Fungusaur all on eBay. But the problem here was I didn't think it was rebacked. Not the problem. It was the actual, and I've gone through this before, I think in a couple videos, but there's a thing called clipping the corners of beta cards. And I want you to look at something. Yeah. Can you just tell off glance the corners? I'm kind of doing this shining on the light thing. Do you see any type of lift at all for this alpha corner? Kind of hard to tell, isn't it? This down further. This one is pretty damning. This one is so obvious in the sense that the box is, I don't know, it just looks too perfect, right? Too round. And, you know, this is really hard because they look at first like alpha corners and you're just sitting there like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, Dan. You have to show me more evidence. So that's what we're going to do. So, first things first, I want to show you something. First off, first test immediately, that's pretty obvious, other than going through the other cards, is a thing called just trimming of the cards. If the cards were clipped, the card corners should be pretty lined up. Do you guys see that? Right? Oh, wait a second. What is that? Whoa. Do you guys see that? It's already white showing. Oh, you see that? But it's not the white. Do you see how there's like a little, I need a Rudy tool. How there's like a black right there? There's additional paper, and I'm not doing this on purpose. That's just the way it is. Yeah, right there. There it is. Game over. Now, okay. A lot of you guys will be like, Dan, you're holding it wrong. No, I'm not. Look at it. I'm literally pressing it to the top. Okay? No, Dan, you're staging this. Okay, whatever. So, no, I'm not. This is how it is. And so I'm zooming like this is 2x. Pretty. Yeah, this is 2x. So what I'm showing you here is that this corner, this one was pretty bad. This one lines up, but doesn't. Look at it carefully. Look at it. Okay, so there's the Psionic Blast on top. Notice again, this is the flat version. That is, yep, that's pretty obvious. And what you're seeing there is the Life Lace and this. Or the Psionic Blast, or the Fungusaur. Let's do this on the top. Oh, I'm going to just flip the Psionic Blast corner, so now it's upside down. Okay. Now this one goes. So now we're upside down, but that's okay. This one is pretty close. Look at this one. This one shows a little wear paper too. So now you can make the argument and say, well, Dan, Alpha was never perfect and cut. It's just the way they were cut. So you can't really, believe that. Okay, so next test that I always look for is I go to the back of the card and I see if it was an Alpha, generally there's this kind of a curl effect, like kind of a curl like this. And I don't know if you can tell on the video. Let me move it to a better light. Yeah. it's pretty flat. Like, okay, so like this corner right here was pretty damning. This one right here. Because look at the cut. It's literally making, like, it's almost as someone just cut it and there's no like actual curling, and it's like flared. So I don't know if you guys ever done this, like cut like some cardboard or something, and it'll literally, without pressure, enough pressure, it will kind of make kind of this pudginess to it. And that's what's happened with this card. It's almost too round, like too, it's like showing too much of the exposure. Whereas in alpha and even beta, they have a slight curl to the top, right? It's just the direction they were cut. The cut machine pressed forward up to the card. So let me see if I can show you on this life lace. Yeah, this corner is pretty obvious. Right there. See that right here? See how there's like a little bit of shadowing? I'm going to zoom in there. Right there. Now look at the corner, guys. Look at the corner of the life right there. Yeah, look at the life lace. See how that's flared up? And that's just the way they were cut. And this will flare down. See how it's down? Whereas the corner for the Psionic Blast on the bottom here, this is the bottom one I'm referring to. This is the Psionic Blast on top. Look carefully. There you go. Okay, so I'm purposely, by the way, this is not the difference of paper. I'm purposely showing you the difference of cut. You see the difference? Now, you can't say, well, the Psionic Blast is better condition, blah, blah, blah. No, this white stuff here, this is a signature move of kind of a clipped razor edge type of cut. It's not a machine quality cut. It's not done with precision, and that's just the way it is. All right, so another thing to look for. Okay, so let's see. Let's also make sure that this fungus star here is an alpha. Let's see. And you know, these types of cuts, people could say, well, Dan, why don't they just you know, it's pretty easy to do, right? You know, and the other test, definitely an alpha there. It's very hard to achieve this flip, if that makes sense. So the next, you know, other than like the bend test, if it's like a rebacked, and it's not a rebacked because it's not glossy, like it's a glossy feel, and it's also not double-sided type of thing. I don't see that going on. And the other thing with collector's edition and international edition was these two are it's very thin on this left side and thicker on the right. That's generally the case. But the next thing to look at is the print. So let's take a look at that. All right. So when looking at the print of the Psionic Blast, I brought in some beta. There's 2 beta. 3 beta, sorry, and 4 alpha. And I'm going to de-sleeve these. I'm going to leave these alone now because these are fine. But I might do, to make sure these cards are inked, I'll do a final test. But this is the card in question there. So let's just, that's the guy on eBay. And by the way, side note, I'm not going to name the guy's name. He's on one of the groups. He actually tagged me on a post and refunded me the money instantly. Even offered to have me keep the card, which I did never ask for. And I messaged the guy back and said, hey, look, you know, I don't want to keep your card that's clipped. I'm just going to make a video and ship it back to you. And so I am getting a full refund. And the guy, I'm not going to leave any negative feedback. And this experience is all settled out, right? And that's you know, this guy did a great job with that. For those of you who have experienced bad customer service before, that's just, you know, terrible, right? And you don't want that. This guy did an incredible job. I'm not even going to name the guy's first name, but I know people know what the situation is. They can figure it out, and he did a great job. And again, I never asked to get the card from the guy. He offered to give me the card, very upfront, very nice, but I don't want a clipped beta card. That's not my you know, I can't even sell it. I'm not that kind of guy. Yes, a player can enjoy it, but still, to me, you know, as a business, it doesn't make any sense. All right, so now this is going to be interesting because I've done this print thing before, and I want you guys to really pay attention. All right, let me zoom in. Hold on. All right, guys, so we're back in the zoom in mode. Here we go. So these are the betas, the 3 betas, the 4 alphas that I brought in, and this is the guy's order I got from eBay. Okay, so this is the clipped, potentially clipped, or I can already tell it's clipped. Psionic Blast, Alpha Psionic Blast. That's actually a beta. All right, so first test that I always do is I'm going to take one of these alphas, okay, and I'm going to just do a pure comparison. Now, you're probably saying, well, Dan, how do you know that yours is alpha? Ooh, okay. Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? I've already tested them, so let's just assume that they are alpha. I'm not going to argue that because that's a, you know, if you're questioning if I know if it's alpha or beta, you know, that's just a waste of a video. All right, so let's, whoa, hold on, look at that. Look at the print. Okay, this is an experience thing. The very top Psionic Blast is a real alpha. The beta is the bottom. How do I know that? Over the years, just investing and buying a lot of these, and I have a lot of them. I'm not going to say how many, I have a lot. The alpha for a lot of these cards tends to be a nice darker color. And more white, kind of a highlight is in beta. For example, this Fungusaur is an alpha. This print actually was different in beta. I should just bring one out here in a second. I will in a minute. So anyway, but already the type is completely different. You could say, well, that's a variation, Dan. That's just the way it is. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. All right. Next, we have the mana symbol. What do we see differently here? Wow. Instantly, I see that the beta on the bottom has what we call a teardrop effect. And what that means, basically, is that a teardrop one has this, like, curvature, this little, I don't know how this is called. It's like a little white, additional white printing. You see that? By the two on the right-hand side. Now, the alpha has, not really. It's not there. Another thing also to look for is alignment on the symbol. Now, the symbol alignment, let's see. I think it's pretty similar. I would say the beta clipped is definitely more to the right a little bit, but alpha is a little bit more centered. All right, next one I look for is the good old artiste symbol. Okay, here we go. The artiste. This is a big one. I think you can tell what's the difference here. Clipped is on the top now. I shifted it because of the angle I'm in. And the alpha is on the bottom. Notice something very interesting. For beta, a lot of betas, they've been using this white kind of shadowing effect versus the alpha is, I think, a richer dark gray with the black. I think it's much more beautiful. And it's a signature sign of an alpha versus a beta. And lastly, of course, the instant effect. The instance. I think it's pretty consistent to say. What I'm looking for is pretty obvious. Okay, so next, what we're going to do is, this is the real one. I'm going to put this out, the real one out back, and I will take these 4 betas, or the 3 betas, and I will put this alpha one that's clipped next to each other so you can see. And I also, you know what, I recently did a swamp video, alpha swamp, that looked a little bit irregular and cut for a friend named Nick in California. And that video was pretty cool in the sense of just understanding, and that card turned out to be a real alpha swamp. All right, so let's do it. this is all beta on top, obviously. Okay, so all beta on top. Do we see any kind of variance, or are they all the same? What do you guys see? Put on HD 4K. It's on 1080p, I think. I think there's a 4K setting on this. And let's do the mana symbols. I know, Nick, it's cold. I know, Dad's doing this video. Mom's upstairs. And lastly, Mom's upstairs. Okay. Sorry, guys. Nick's a little cold and I have the door open. A little chilly in where I'm at. But not ice storm. Okay, so again, almost there it is. There's the Doug Schulers. All exactly the same. White stuff, the white coloring. Yeah, pretty obvious, guys. You guys agree? Okay. And let's put back the alpha for you. All these betas. Right there. So there's 4 betas. The clipped alpha is right below the alpha in the very top. And it's dark as hell. It's a Doug Schuler thing. Very obvious. Okay? Alright, so I think I proved this pretty well. I don't need to over-explain it. I'm going to go right into this Fungosaur. I'm just curious. I want to show you guys something really cool. Then I'll be right back. So this clipped beta is definitely, clipped alpha is definitely a beta. Alright? We'll be right back in a second. Alright guys, we're back real quick. I want to show you guys something. This is the Fungosaur that I purchased on eBay. And these other 2 are right here, examples, and this is a beta. And I want to show you guys something, how hard it is sometimes. So here's an alpha, the alpha I got. Here's the beta. And I want you guys to see sometimes how hard it is to tell. Look at that. That is really hard. So what happened was Fungosaur is one of those cards where actually it's super... that little dot is on the card. It's not. I think it's just a shuffling mark. But Fungosaur is one of the harder ones to explain and tell the difference of the print. And what I'm seeing here that's really more something you gotta look at is the border. So for example, it's lighter on this one, or it's a lighter green, kind of a for the alpha, but the beta is a deeper, richer green. That's a kind of a giveaway for the beta versus alpha. And the font types actually are somewhat similar. Very scary. And the mana symbol, somewhat similar, right? Now the Daniel Jellins I thought were a little interesting. Again, none of that white stuff like the Doug Schuler, right? This is the, I'm sorry, the clipped with the white, the yellow shadowing, the white shadowing, right? None of that really going on. So not every card exhibits that. So, you know, one of these days, I'm going to make a video for every card and do like a little encyclopedia thing, break down all the nuances, but and some grading factors, stuff like that. But another thing to look for also is the white box. You'll notice that the white box for the Fungosaur, that, right, the little inside here, interior box, right, it's a little gray. It has a little gray tone, whereas the beta is more white. And that's just the nature of the cards. Let's bring in another alpha, just so you can, the beta's right smash in the middle. This one's a little bit more dark. Interesting. But still, you know, I mean, I think it's like sandwiched. I think the lighting. So you notice the beta and the alpha. The alpha, there's 2 alphas, and the beta's sandwiched in between. Interesting. All right, so last thing I'm going to do is I also want to make sure that the cards aren't colored and inked. So I'll do that test and I'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So the last thing I'm going to do is the Fungosaur that I purchased. This is the beta, is right here. And these are the Life Lace and the Psionic Blast. Psionic Blast is out of the picture now because I'm returning that anyway, that clipped one. I want to make sure the purchase is not colored. So what I'm going to do is I got this Life Lace and Fungosaur that I got, alphas. I'll put the real Psionic Blast in there and beta cards like that. So what I'm doing here is I'm not kind of, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look to see if there's any kind of inking or coloring at all. And that's important because you want to make sure that nothing going on. So let's take a look in the better lighting. You see the inking? No, that looks pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Whoop. Oh, the corners. That's just shadowing. Yeah, that's just shadowing. So we'll just. Now you do this because if there's, you know, some kind of ink or you know, type of thing showing up, you'll be able to see it pretty quick. So you do it because you want these other cards sandwiched in, so you can just tell if it's like, if there's any kind of you know, just instantly if there's anything. And you're probably asking, well, why, Dan? Why do you care? Well, the thing is, if I plan on reselling these cards to anybody else, I want to make sure that the product I'm getting won't have any questions. So, and I think we're good there, right? There's no obvious black signs. I can tell pretty quickly. And if there was, I would have zoomed in deeper and looked further. All right. Well, thanks again, guys. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys learned something from the video. It was very interesting. You know, to me, just to kind of break it down, I'm going to have to do a better breakdown later on for every card, just because there's a lot of print nuances. But if you guys like the video, please share it. People have been collecting Alpha for a while now, obviously with the emergence of Alpha 40 and other investments. But again, this Alpha Psionic Blast that was on eBay actually is a beta clipped. And I will be returning this today. And I appreciate you guys watching the video. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you everyone for joining me. It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com. I'm excited to share more about our appraisal services. All right, so the first step of the appraisal process is determining if your items are authentic. After determining that the items are authentic, we will then do a market evaluation of your items. So oftentimes clients ask me, hey Dan, I want to insure my collectibles. Well, after the authenticity and evaluation part of the appraisal process, I would then construct an official letter and we would send that off to the insurance company. Your insurance provider would then offer you insurance based on the evaluations and authenticity. We also offer pre-grading services. So collectors who are looking to save money on grading can go through us. We will actually grade and authenticate the cards before you send it off to grading, and that will save you potentially thousands of dollars on grading fees. Also, we offer estate collection services. So basically, if you have acquired a collection over the years, either from a family member or yourself, and you want to pass it down to your kids, we're able to determine valuations based on the levels of today.
Vintage Magic. Game, collect, invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit vintagemagic.com.